development and data science. They are selling you a tool that you can use. Jesus. OCD the opposite direction, where I wanted to make it imperfect or messy or dirty, and people would say, well, that's just being a caveman or crazy. But by doing that, you are going to learn more. Now I see that. Oh man, I got it again. It's so damn good, y'all. Bam, booyah. And another part of me, because my artistry side, the creative side of my brain, it's almost like it's arguing with the other side, like in a quick, your own pace. And it's so rewarding. You saw me, I was excited. That was my coding there. So this is the result, 264.3. And if I wanted to change that to integral, I could. Hello. So I said, hello world. The only way to live life without errors is to live a life without coding. Like, I mean, even on videos, I would have everything so perfect, or I'd say, oh, that needs to be fixed. Like, OCD part of me would say, you need to correct that error. It feels so good to complete that. Like, people are going to say something, it's bothering me in my own brain, right? And that's actually the left side portion of your brain. And damn, look at that shit. That should be the name of this segment. The only way to live life without errors is to live a life without coding. But I would just say, like, okay, it's all perfect. Like, a whole video can be done perfectly. I spent all these hours, days or weeks even, putting a video together. And then there's, like, purposely a part I knew was not either finished, kind of like a rough edge, or it wasn't complete, or just messed up or wrong even. And I'd be like, or maybe like turn it this way, make it crooked. That's it. And that, okay, I'm actually going to type that, because that's going to be the name of this segment, so I can't copy it. To make it perfect for me. Because I believed, and I still do believe in an aspect, that nothing in nature is perfect by diameter. I mean, I built palimpsests and like building structures and stuff, and people say, oh, that's not going to last. Who were kind of like squared people, like, you need to have measuring tape and do everything perfect, okay, with tools, and that's fine if that's the type of person you are. For me, that shit, it just drives me crazy, actually, being that squared, because I would build something by looking at it with my hands and my eyes. I'd say, okay, that looks good, screw it in there. And I noticed something very interesting, is that the more you had a natural knack or feeling for something, you could feel it. It's like a quilt, a handmade thing. You whittle it, and it's just right. You don't need like perfect with electronics. Like, I didn't need measure the building structure. I just looked at it and screwed it in and said, wow, this looks good. What I've noticed is all those type of structures like that are usually more stable if you are honestly feeling it out and then testing it. It's just like a recipe. You could follow a recipe all the way to the end. And, like, I mean, perfectly. Like, 1 teaspoon of that, this, that, and the other. Okay, this is a great example. So then, let's say it's soup, and you follow all the ingredients, and then it just tastes bland. It's not to your liking, okay? So you taste it. It tastes good, but it's missing something. I'm not sure what it is. And you might spice it up. You might put some, I don't know, coriander or turmeric or, I don't know, onion or garlic, salt. I don't know, something. And then you taste it again. And it's like, oh man, that tastes a lot better. But it needs a little bit more salt. Okay, so you've changed the recipe to your liking, and it's just right for you. I think everyone agree, this one's too heavy, this one's too soft, this one's not good enough, and this one's just right, right? So we all have that aspect. The only way to live life Yo, what's up? There we go. A little bit brighter. So actually, this is an interesting test I'm doing. I am live. Okay, let's see. Did it just go? I'm trying to pull off going live on two different accounts is what I'm doing. So, and the whole point of this, okay, wow, so I do got both, I think. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump into it. If you put the link below, my screen is shared on the same fan page. Let's see if I can find. I hope I don't click something on it. Because you can see this. Hold on. Which one is it? So yeah, I just got. There it is. Here we go. Let's just play this right now.
If I needed a tablet type device and I really wanted to do some actual programming, this is the device that I would definitely go for. It's roughly the same price as the iPad Pro, but you can do everything on here that a programmer would want to do. It's got full Windows operating system on here. It runs WSL 2 Windows subsystem for Linux, so everything you could want is in here. If you're a programmer, you'll definitely want something like this as your portable development machine rather than the iPad Pro. You're putting yourself in a lot of frustration and workarounds, and I just found it was just way too much to deal with. So it's just a bunch of complaints from me. However, if you're just starting out learning programming, it's a great way to use the iPad Pro, what you already have, to do some of the experimenting and programming on it. So I wouldn't discourage you from doing that if you are, let's say, a computer science student, or you just really want to maybe get into web development and get the feel for some of the programming. In conclusion, it's doable, but not ideal. And if you're a hobbyist or possibly even a computer science student, you can get around it by using the iPad Pro as a development machine, but you're really, what's the word? Yeah, you're really causing yourself more trouble than it's possibly worth versus another machine that has everything you need in there. So can you use the iPad Pro as a development machine? Maybe, if you're crazy enough.
Damn. Well, we'll see what happens with the...
So, programming on the iPad Pro, I went through all of the methods that I discussed previously, and I didn't find it was a good experience at all. Stop scratching.
There we have it. So
if you ever buy anything from Apple, you should use WikiBuy. It's a browser extension that automatically applies coupon codes to your shopping cart.
It's too late now.
It's super easy to use, and it's totally free.
So I have Apple actually to engrave my Magic Pencil and the actual iPad itself. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna put, I don't know, something to it. It's kind of cool. I'm actually gonna go. See, I got two different ones. It's either Washington University, Purdue. Okay, there's Jupiter there. Okay, that's Collab. That's cool. There's a loan. That's one thing. If you're in business right now, I highly suggest they have a limit increase on all business loans. Now, this was an amazing reviews for this, so I'm really thinking about going with this company, Practicum or Bootcamp, Yandex, which It's like literally the highest quality, best reviews, a pretty decent price, and they guarantee you're going to get jobs. Amazing reviews here. I'll probably leave that link in the description. For anybody that's kind of like on the same type of journey, I've done web development, coding, HTML, Python, video animation. You've seen I do Final Cut Pro, different things like that. So it's cool. I did that at Harvard, and so all this like 12 years I've been doing all this business stuff, and online. How many websites have I made? At least 20 different websites. But what I've actually been doing all this time is data science. Okay, so what is data science? I'm actually going to show you guys. This is like a pre-introduction, okay? Because in actuality, so if you're on this screen, I'll put a link below in the description. Actually, I may have this where I put both of them on top of each other, because this would be really cool. It's a learning experience for myself and for other people who want to learn some of this stuff, without freaking out. The next course is happening here in November, and it's about 7.5 to 8 months, depending on how fast you work. Like 20 hours for 2 weeks. So you'll need each section. It lasts like 2 weeks, 40 hours of studying, things like that. And what's neat about it is you're just learning one thing. I mean, you're learning a cascade of different things, but under one, either a data analyst, data scientist, or a web developer, a full stack web developer, things like that, okay? You will get all the tools you need in most boot camps, but I'm trying to show you, this is like the best different modes to choose on which boot camp. As far as, if a company doesn't offer a guarantee after you complete the course, whether it is 6 months, a year, or even a 4-year degree, whatever, if they can't offer a guarantee that you will get a job, which in data science and web developing in general, it's a huge demand in that, especially with data science, what I'm going into. It's actually what I've been doing with Plot Palm Trees for the past 12 years is, in my own sense, I've been doing data science all this time. So I should be a natural at it, as it could be for businesses, corporations, product development, marketing, advertising, target marketing audience who is needing your supply or your services, your products, and getting it to those sort of people in a creative manner, being able to present yourself in a proper way. So you're helping me. If I was in an interview process, for example, which I've had a couple of interviews, you don't need to complete boot camp to get a project or a job. So you could be 3 months into this program, 6 months at the end, and you can land a project while you're taking the course, because they're going to teach you the essential tools to, whether it's web developing, data science, or what have you. So if you go to the screen, on my screen here, you can actually see a little example. This is what data science is. So I'm going to just jump right into it. And you're going to help me tag along and do this, okay? So here we go. This is like the basic in theory. I'm actually on part 11. I'm flying through this, so you missed some of the more simple ones. Very interesting stuff that you can learn. So it's basically a free overview. And these are free pre-courses, by the way. You can get a syllabus. For my top 3 pick, or 4, depending on what you're looking into, for data science, for web developing and data analytics, okay? So if you want that degree like from an actual college, I highly suggest Washington University or Purdue University. Or even go where I went, I have credits at Harvard University. It's going to be a little more expensive, but I will just say this. For big corporations to hire you on, they'll want to see that PhD or a bachelor's degree in those cases, right? I know I got my laundry basket up there. That's going to be your like $100,000 to $200,000 jobs, like crazy, like, you know, if you're doing big, like putting your whole life and passion into something like a project. It could be 10 years. I don't know. Okay. That's really good. I will just say this on behalf, because I know a lot of web developers and people who are advocates of coding and data science, that they'll want me to say this, and I put this out there first and foremost. The best way to learn is doing it yourself, learning yourself, before you throw in $12,000 or even $5,000 for boot camp. However, I can show you the most affordable boot camp. It's got the best reviews. It's like one of the best quality boot camps that I have seen. So, and I will let you guys know, because I'm going to test it all out. I don't want to mislead anybody, and I don't want to give misinformation. So I am just telling you my honest opinion from what I've researched. I can leave the links below, or if you'd like to contact me, if you'd like to really be, honestly want to know what is the best boot camp for me. Like, first and foremost, you can get many free courses like, is it Udemy, Code Academy? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you can find for free, and you can actually like teach yourself a lot of the information. Okay, this is a free pre-course that I'm at right now on the screen here. Okay, again, they have amazing reviews. You look that up. And I'm trying to find Washington University here. Check that out. What you can do is you can put your information in from technology and leadership. Washington University, right there. Data analytics. And I just posted in the link description, like how over the course of the past decade, the explosion of data has transformed nearly every industry known to man, whether it's in marketing, healthcare, government, or activism, which I definitely go into a lot of these areas. I talk about politics, government. I'm an activist. I do business marketing and health matters. So it's really interesting how dynamic, because a lot of people don't even know what data science is. But technically, I've been a data scientist for 12 years, and I didn't even know. I just figured I was an entrepreneur. It's like entrepreneurship, due to technology, has evolved to... Now you're a data scientist, because you need to know what people want, what people are buying, where they're spending their money, how many people are speaking your language, what the population is doing, and where are they going. Okay, knowing kind of the, sociology of marketing, what people are into, where's everybody going, following the money, and where does that lead you. Okay, a lot of people, for example, could be leaving the country. That would be a data science thing. How many people are smartest people in America are leaving America? Okay, that in itself is a data science analytic. And it's data analytics. You're compiling information. Okay, basically what you see on social media, what Facebook, what are they obtaining from you that you got free? You're getting a free app, device, gaming, whatever it is, but they're taking your information, right? They want to know more about you. And that information has data analytical value, okay? In a sense, of intrinsic value to these companies. It's important to achieve mastery in the application of concepts, because companies care about what you can do, not just what you know. Washington University, this is for Washington University, with their pep talk here. University Data Analytics Bootcamp curriculum teaches you how to use and learn, solve real-world data problems, or projects, excuse me. So you learn all this, Excel, statistic modeling. And that's about the most difficult thing you'll have in data science is Python. You'll want to definitely know that. But statistics, probability, what was I just said? Those type of things mathematically. It's probably the most mathematical. Coding, SQL, all those different, coding, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, 3D, leaflet. But basically the most important today is Python. Of course, you'll know Java, kind of the older stuff, HTML5, Module 6. So this is at the end. It's 24 weeks here. Bring everything you've learned into class all together to create impressive data, visualize application, small team, get creative, come up with something cool to show off to the whole world. And that's
again. So, hold on, let me just stop this part.
Pretty cool. Dreaming up something fantastic, understanding the bounds and reasonable achievement. In a lot of senses, I could probably show many of these companies my, my works, my videography, and my different things I've done. And, you could end up getting a job like that, you know what I'm saying? So here's I don't know if you guys can see this. Let's see if it pops up. Oh, shoot. I don't know, it goes so quick. Showing you how there's the pre-course and introduction here. It starts very soon, obviously, like in a week or two. Okay. You can kind of just overlook that. You can pause it if you'd like to look at all this. Data processing, exploratory data analysis, statistical data analysis. Okay, sure. Initial scans, detect patterns, data collection, storage, SQL, introduction to machine learning. Machine learning in business. Integrated product, linear algebra. So there's some math right there, your matrices and matrices. It's funny because you're going to be working with a lot of artificial intelligence stuff that's coming out ahead of the curve. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's funny because I've talked about a lot of this stuff, like AI and the matrix and simulations. They got these Google glasses that we're going to go with the linear camera on the new iPad, and I'll be able to explain that more. There's so much coding and possibilities you could do with that in the future with Google Glasses, the future of artificial intelligence, algorithms. It's just really, truly insanely remarkable and ahead of its time already. Everything in technology is moving so fast. Our human brain can process it subconsciously. It's just going so fast. It's taking the downtime, take it slow down, and analyze and actually absorb it, grasp it, and get your head around it. So that would be my best advice, since I'm one of those type 2. If you're not reclusive, you can't be introverted, or you can't sit and read a book or sit in the corner for maybe a week or even a month at a time and just sit here and research something, then data science is probably not for you. You can't be like a big people person wanting to party. Almost, you can be an ambivert, but being an extrovert, and wanting to go to the meet up with your friends and social life, it would be challenging. I'll just say that. But hey, while you have downtime, you know, with this whole quarantine, it may be the best time, you know, 6 months to a year, take off. This is very affordable, this program here I'm showing you. And by the end of it, they do guarantee you, they get you a job, okay? Now, why is that even a beneficial thing to talk about? Like, Eric, who cares? I can go get a degree, 4 years, and then maybe get a job or credentials, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, actually, this is not even a whole year, and I'm not saying you'll get a job within the 6 months or a year. It may even be 5 years, okay? But the more you get better at this is what I'm getting at. I mean, starting medium for just data science is $100,000 a year. Some, you know, vary depending on what job you get. Data analytics, it might be easier for you. It'd be $20,000 to $30,000 a year. So those are some really cool things. They're more hopeful in this day and age as they're more on demand than a lot of jobs that we see, you know, with college degrees and whatnot. I should be putting my business shirt on, because wow. And you know, I may just kind of transfer that over, you know, from palm trees and all this to making the Kazwad a kind of like a how you want to put it, kind of my web development site. Might not be a bad idea. I get so much traffic. I mean, literally hundreds of thousands of people come onto my blog sites and stuff. So anyway, let's look at this. I'm on actually task 3. So data types, any value that we use related to specific data type. For example, integer. In Python, this type of data is called int, int. Value stored English variable. So you'd say English, and then bam, there's the numbers. Because if you go over here, you'll see all the different things. So this is your information you're observing. Basically, you know, the websites to the top 10 million English, okay, native speakers, and then total speakers of language by the millions. So it's like right there, 1,121,000, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so one of the things I learned is that 1 out of 7 people is even, or 1 out of 17th, 1/17 of the world even speaks English. Not that many. I mean, it's a lot, almost 2 billion, but not everybody even speaks English. See that? So that's information you can learn from stuff like this. I was pretty shocked to see it was like there's 1/7 of the world speak English, something like that. So anyway, in order to confirm data, so I had to type this in. The code I typed in was right here. That's what I've come up with. Okay. All right, let's see where I'm at. I'm not going to show you that. Those were the last 2 tasks I already completed. So I'm going to show you the last task. It's going to ask, we wrote a program that calculates the number of Russian language websites among the 100 million most popular websites. Now let's take a look at the code. Okay, so if the variable Russia web share is classified as float data, and the variable total web is classified as integer, what kind of data should the variable Russian websites be defined as? First, take a guess, and then check it, print the variable and its type. Okay. So what we have here, let's put this, we're going to copy this, and we're going to put it down here. And so we'll check it, see if it works. I don't think I know it. And it's very particular, okay. To print screen, use the print function. Okay. To print. Okay. Oh, I got it. Weird. since we were calculating the total number of sites, the result should have been a whole number, but instead we have received a float value type. You'll discover the reason for that in the following lesson. I love it when I get all these right. Like, that is one rewarding feeling, y'all, is doing computer programming, web development, data science, and like when you get the answer right, it's so rewarding. That is one cool thing, is you feel rewarded for doing this and stuff. Like, I don't know if you, okay, I'm just gonna say this, you don't have to be a complete nerd to do a lot of this. You see on the screen, it looks really complicated when you see a bunch of coding. It's like a different language, right? So breaking this down piece by piece, like I'm doing right now, this is having fun with it. Don't get freaked out by the numbers and the equal signs and all the values. Instead, just baby steps. Bite off little pieces. This is why it takes like 20 hours dedicated a week, and just learn one little piece at a time. It's like putting a piece of the puzzle. It may look complex, but when you take the pieces of the puzzle, so what I'm getting at is, if you like challenges and you can stay on the task of just not giving up, just keep doing it, even if you suck at it first, or you think you're not good at math or probability statistics or anything, just try to do it. That's what I'd say. I'd say keep up with it, stay persistent, enjoy the challenge. When you complete the answer and you are correct, it's a very rewarding thing. It's not something you have to like study for. You don't have to take classes. This is what I love, is you're learning real life. In a sense, by taking this, all the courses, you're actually cultivating, utilizing information you learn to making it do something with the variables, the different language, the values. You're making it do something for you and someone else. And so it's like writing a book, but the prototype is whatever it is you're writing is becoming something in the real world, if that makes sense. So I'm going to just jump into the next task. Okay, so the theory is, this is like, so hypothetically, if we were, a boss gave you this assignment, right? Okay. Now you know about variables. That's pretty much, you're putting in something that describes something else. Type of variable, okay? Like Russian websites, okay. A float is a decimal number, so that whatever pops up, that's a float, okay? It's a decimal, it's definitely have a decimal number on it. If it's the other thing, that it's like a whole number, yeah, this, I don't even know, I don't want to confuse you, but it's class integral, INT, integral. I'm just trying to teach this because it's a little bit difficult to teach. That's the thing, is it's best to teach yourself, for sure. But hey, you don't know, if you're doing this, you might come across this and be like, wow, this really, because this is simplified. I gotta say, this is really a great course, okay? I give this 10 out of 10, and probably one of the best reviews I could ever see. So if you need information about that, you want to know the best, most affordable, highest quality boot camp, just let me know about below. I will give you a link to help you out and hook you up with this source. If you have the money, okay, there's another one called Lambda. That you are guaranteed a job at the end of the 6-month or year program, okay? But, here's the big but, 17% of your paycheck when you get a project, when you get a job, career, 17% every month and every paycheck, whatever, it's going to go to a $30,000 outstanding bill. You will owe initially $30,000 that you are kind of like indebted to having to pay off, okay? It's a lot of money. However, they do offer a guarantee. That's huge. right now, I don't know if that means much, seemingly, because the demand, I mean, you'd have to really suck not to get a job. I'm not going to say that because I don't want to jinx anyone or make someone feel bad. But it would be a bit, I don't know. If you absolutely don't know what you're doing, then yeah. But just about every company, if you ask them, am I guaranteed to get a refund if I don't find a job within 3 months or 6 months or a year? Most will. And every company I'm talking about, they do. So I'm talking about this company, okay? It's on the screen. They are excellent, and I've been told it's a refund process. It's a little bit strenuous. However, they offer one. If you go to Lambda, let me see. This person said don't do Lambda because it's like 17% of your earnings for 2 years if you earn over $50,000, okay? So you don't have to pay it off until you're earning $50,000 or more. Then they start taking 70% of your earnings for 2 years, and that's going to pay you $30,000 off. Which you think about, you're making $50,000 a year, then over a 2-year period, you're paying back $15,000, per year to the people who taught you and got you a guaranteed job. So you can read that. It's on Reddit. It's called, if you're thinking about doing Lambda at school, don't do it. Okay, I may put that in the link description. So the companies, I forgot about Lambda, but I support anybody checking them out, because if you don't have any money, you can actually do the whole thing for free. And if you end up getting a job, you do have to pay them back in 2 years, quite a big amount. I will just tell you like this: most places are at least $4,000 or $5,000, and many other boot camps are $12,000, and some even go up to $50,000 or something like that. This is $30,000. You're guaranteed a job if you do the work. If you get through it, no big. If you don't get through it, no big loss. No worry. Whatever. Okay. If you do, you're making good money, and you got a job guaranteed. There you have it. Okay, so that's Lambda. I really honestly can't tell you much because I haven't checked the syllabus out on Washington University, but I'm sure everything they do is really excellent. I'll just tell you like that, because I mean, it's a well-renowned Ivy League type school. It's just like Harvard. It's going to look good on your resume, just like a PhD. Anything like that is going to be beneficial, especially in probability and statistics and da-da-da. So you can check that out. If you want links to any of this, I can send you. You got to remember, boot camp is a little bit different. Either which way is completely entirely different than actual college courses and the whole curriculum, okay? Just 1 second. Let me grab this one here, that drink. Let's put some guy on here. The agenda. That's Dark Matter 25. Check him out. I can't believe this. So actually, I was looking up if iPad is good for programmers, which again, I'm not. I think this new iPad is immaculate. It's incredible. I can't wait to show some of my friends show it off. Really. It'd be pretty cool using iPad for a computer science major. See, and you're gonna want something like a laptop. This is officially one of the first iPads. It's like a laptop, basically. Is this iPad worth students? I'm sure, and that's what I'm saying. For data science, I think it would be more suitable, because data science is more about, all kinds of just creative things, drawing, maps, grids, graphs, you name it. Let's see, Jupyter, for Notepad, coding on iPad Pro. So why I'm not buying? Let's see, this one's 3 minutes. Let's just check this out. You can, like I said, go to Eric Plot Raw Uploads, and you can see my screen right now on another video. Or actually, I may just end up editing this into one video. Let's see what he says. Oh, he's showing you him using Jupyter for Notepad. That's a coding software. SSH. Let's see, this is part 1.
Welcome everybody to TechCraft. This is Rob. In today's video, I'm going to talk you through the workflow and the tools I use for remote coding on the iPad. Let's go. In part 1 of this series, we saw how to write and run code locally on the iPad. Now, running code on the iPad locally is a really important part of my workflow, and I really enjoy writing utilities for the iPad with something like Pythonista, but I do the bulk of my coding on remote servers using the iPad as the primary access device. I have 2 main remote coding workflows that I use in my work. I connect to various remote machines over SSH for backend coding, and I use Jupyter running on a remote server for data science and machine learning. In this video, we'll dive into both of these workflows. The iPad has 2 solid SSH apps that I know about, Prompt and the one that I use a lot, Blink. So Blink gives you everything you'd expect in a normal SSH client. You can configure your keys to access the servers you want to shell into. You can pre-configure certain hosts, so you don't have to type out all the addresses each time. And of course, the most important thing, you can choose the appearance you want. You can choose your theme and your font size, so forth. There's also pretty decent support for keyboard remapping. So if we take a look at the keyboard tab here, you can see that I've, for example, remapped caps lock to be control. I use control a lot in the shell, and you'll see why shortly. I've also been able to make the back quote key as escape, which if you're a Vim user is obviously super important. Now, I have this really useless key up here, the one with the kind of double S on it, that I'd like to make into escape, but that's not supported so far, which is obviously kind of frustrating. And it's even more frustrating that you can't remap these keys globally in iOS. I'd really like to have caps lock B control everywhere on the operating system. So Blink has a built-in kind of mini bash shell. If you press tab once you're inside it, you'll see all the supports. So for example, we can query DNS, and you can use readline style keyboard shortcuts to scroll through the history with Control P for previous and Control N for next. Once you've got a line that you want to edit, Control A takes you to the beginning and Control E takes you to the end, and then Control B to go backwards and Control F to go forwards. This is a big part of why I've rebound the caps lock key to be control. It's just far more convenient for me to hit caps lock and do this than it is to hit the control key way down here on the keyboard. So SSH works exactly as you expect. Once you're inside Blink, you just simply run the SSH command and you use the server you want to connect to. So I'm going to connect to my server in AWS, and there I am inside my server. You'll notice I didn't need to type in a password there. That's because SSH keys are fully supported, and as we saw earlier, you can configure them in the config tab. Once I'm connected to the remote machine, I just have my normal environment that I use everywhere. So I'm using Vim for the editor, but if you're an Emacs person or if you're into Nano, then you can use all those. Basically, any command line editor will work just fine. I also have whatever programming language tools I need. I have Git, and we'll return to Git in a second. And I also have the most important tool in my workflow, which is tmux. So if you're not familiar with tmux, the name means terminal multiplexer, which is basically just a fancy way of saying it's a program that allows you to have multiple terminals running just in a single terminal window. In practice, this means that I can have my editor open in one window, say here, and then using the tmux keyboard shortcuts, I can create another window. I can split this one horizontally. In one of those splits, I can run, say, my application, and then in another, I can interact with something like Git. And this is just a basic window layout. Obviously, you can create more complex layouts to your specific needs, but this isn't the only thing I use tmux for. It has one other killer feature that is absolutely indispensable for my workflow. This whole set of terminal windows is called a session in tmux land, and I can detach from this session, leaving everything still running. I can then disconnect from SSH, I can come back to the machine at a later point, fire up SSH, and reattach to the exact same tmux session with all my applications still running exactly as I left them. If you're very mobile like me, I'm maybe grabbing 15 minutes here and there to do some work, this is absolutely ideal. I can chill in, do some work, detach from tmux, maybe find another 15 minutes later in the day, just reattach and pick up where I left off. I don't have to worry about kind of restarting my entire environment. There's just so much more to tmux than I can really even show in this video. I will throw some links to the guides in the description below, but if you're interested in seeing a video about it, then do hit me up in the comments and I'll happily film something. So I've mentioned Git and GitHub a few times.
I will leave the rest of this because it's like 10 more minutes or something in the link description. In fact, every link that you see that I've gone to, I will leave, from Washington University, Purdue University, the syllabuses, and data scientists. I will say Anastasia Orgaz has been tremendous help as my advisor, my personal advisor. She rocks. She's actually helped me more I've been talking to her for over a week now, and she's just been really lovely asset. I've learned more from her about boot camp than any other advisor from any other boot camps does so far. And I will say, you got to be very careful. That's why I'm doing this video, because a lot of people want to know where they should go for boot camp. And I can't tell you off personal experiences other than like my Harvard experience. I took some courses at Cornell, but overall, I usually magnetize to quality things because I know what to look for. I could be deemed an expert on fraud in a lot of different areas. So when I use that researcher, mechanism of mine to seeking out very quickly the best, no bullshit, not scam type of products and things like that. This is a really cool program. Part of the reason I want to go here is just because of this. On Slack, it's an amazing app they put together where you can actually talk with other fellow students that are in computer web development, and you can ask questions, open house meetings, all this different stuff. I have one-on-one even asking questions such as, can you be in a remote location, say Central America, like if you were in Belize, or if you're living in the jungle, as long as you have Wi-Fi, can you do data science there? Can you do, web development, data analytics? Can you do these projects remote in Costa Rica or, other countries? Go to Europe. If you want to go to Germany, Finland, or, Russia, wherever you want to go. As long as you have like this iPad, so you got your iPad, and anywhere you go with it, if you can do programming, you can actually do what's called screen, which is you reflecting whatever's on your iMac. You can reflect it onto your iPad. So if you're cold, you can go under your covers and you can start doing coding. And that's basically what I want to promote too, is for people to consider, things like that. I'll just say this. One of the main requirements for any boot camp is going to be complete. It's like a completed secondary education, 10 hours a week to study at least. And some, as you, taking your time, maybe 20 hours. Some weeks you might have to spend more than others, but probably not more than 20 hours for the whole week, okay? A desktop, a laptop computer, Windows or iMac. And that's why I said this new iPad, the Pro 12 inches, is practically, because of how big it is, it's very unique. It is capable of being like a laptop. And a lot of the coding software, it's getting better and better. It's more capable of doing that, where most tablets, you can't do that or do your work on, okay? Microphone, speakers is something when you're talking to your mentor. JS code is one thing in Jupyter Notebook, and then having Slack, okay? You can get all of these different things. Visual Studio Code, so that's pretty cool right there. I think I got that before. I don't need this, so I'm going to cancel it. I'm going to open it up. Yeah, okay. So these are all the different things you can get within that for your iMac. So bam, bam, bam. So that's why I like this, is they let you jump right into it. Jupyter, Xantex, I mean. I say 10 out of 10. I can already tell this is a quality boot camp. Every camp that I've told you so far literally is my honest opinion. Go read the reviews. Incredible. Look at that. 73% excellent. It really, that's way better than most boot camps out there. I'll just tell you. You can look up any company like, see, Lambda's actually pretty good. Lambda Tech. They have 82% excellent, and they have a lot more reviews. And that's, like I said, I think this is it. This may not be. Looks like they're delivering something, but you have to look up the training. There it is. Different things, different people. But, yeah, let's see if I can find it. Learn programming. Lambda, I did spell it right. And this tells this guy's experience why he wouldn't want to go there. Let me remind you that to create an atmosphere of substantiation, he's told people to take photos of themselves with job offers, even past job offers that weren't acquired during Lambda, because someone asked Lambda project manager, make $12 an hour. I don't agree with some. So this guy doesn't agree with them, says imply the experience was because they didn't put enough in. That's based on your own experience. I can't get this thing off. First off, I'd like to say that the first 3 months of Lambda was absolutely amazing for me. I had no background whatsoever, HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. But after 3 months with Josh, Ryan, and Lewis, and Ivan, when he was still with Lambda, I learned so much. I'm very grateful for the training I received. I also enjoyed working with my peers and my assigned PM, personal manager. Everyone seemed truly happy to be a part of Lambda and willing to help one another during the time. It felt like Lambda was giving up to everything that had attracted me to school. Unfortunately, the end of the first 3 months, our cohort started to experience problems that greatly diminished our positive experience. For one, the merry atmosphere seemed to diminish, not necessarily Lambda's fault. Second, the excellent training went down the drain when we got to the computer science portion of the curriculum. My biggest complaints from then till now has been negative attitudes that can tend to dampen the environment and overuse of "we are teaching you how to learn." When students ask questions during lectures and are directed to go to Google instead. These are my personal critiques in 2 scenarios. There's like hundreds of more different comments below that. So yeah. There's some bad review. So I just read to you like good and bad. I'm telling you they're a good company overall. Like he said, you learn all of this and everybody's experience is going to be different. But the company I'm on right here, let's do another run. This is another task. I'm probably gonna. I usually like to have 100% concentration when I do things, so I'm gonna try to get this right while y'all are watching me. I'm really under the gun, under the fire now. Okay, so now let's just walk it through. Basically, you want to read every word, word for word, and look at it and remember it. Okay, you don't want to skim over or skip stuff when it comes to coding and stuff, or the task. Now you know the variables, curious behavior, multiplying, integral, in float values. Produces a float value, even if the result should be an integer. So it's always a float value, like the number of websites in the following example. So you have Russian web share is 0.061, total web is 1 million. Okay. Russian website, share total. So Russian websites equals Russian web share times total webs. Okay, so we have total web here, total web shares. Okay, so you multiply those, and that will be Russian websites. Print Russian websites, print Russian websites. Okay. So if we put all that, see, we just copy this, all that, what I just said. Russian. Okay. I'll put it right there. We'll check it. It should be 61,000. Okay, let's try this again. Let me just take this all off. Let's check it just as it is. I notice sometimes you have to hit check twice. Okay. So it'll tell you line 3 is where your problem is. So we have to figure out how many native integrals. Okay, let's look at the task. There's a lot of different things up there. Okay, we have written a code that converts the number of native Russian speakers given millions, the Russian native millions variable, to the total number of native Russian speakers. So Russian native is a variable. The variable Russian native, as explained above, now contains a floating point. However, since it represents a number of people, it's better to have an integer. Let's convert the type into integer, which means it needs to be a whole number, right? Because integral is a whole number, while the flow is a decimal. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, the variable Russian native, see the precode to perform the type of conversion, then print this variable and its type. Okay. Better to have an integer. So let's convert it to type. Okay, so use the new variable Russian native integer. Okay, let's go back up. This is what I was saying, is it's really, you have to like be thought provoked. You know, it's mentally stimulating. Each question is like a project within itself. But good news, it's not like, you know, that when you're done, that's all you had to do, you're done. You know what I mean? It's not like you got all this crazy shit to do. Okay. Note that when float is converted to integral, the end result is rounded down, meaning the decimal place after the period is ignored. Okay, so if it's, you have to round it down. I get that. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So you'd say English web percent is 53.9%. That's an integral because it's a decimal. So you print English web percentage. That prints it out. And then you can type, you put English web percentage. Okay. So that's where you're putting it. English web percentage integral. English web percentage. Okay, so that's what it equals. Then you print it. Print type English web percentage int. Integral. So that is what transforms it from that into the integral. Okay. That's what you want instead of a float. A float is a decimal. That's what I meant. That's the class. Okay. So you can convert integral into float by calling the float function. Okay. So English native. So like we over here, we have Russian native millions. We have 153.9 million Russian native million. Okay. Russian native equals Russian native millions times 1 million. Russian native integer, which, like we said, integer is the whole number. So we saw up here, when it printed it, it made it integral, because you put integral. right here, int. So you're taking it, something that's a float, and transforming it into an integral. That's like saying, taking something that's a decimal and making it a whole number. Okay? So, let's look at, so you can convert integral into float by calling the float function. Okay? So English native is 3.782 million. Print the English native. Alright. Print type English native. English native float. Float equals native. Okay. Print. Okay. So you add float into that. Let's see. So then it'll give you the integral, but it'll also give you the float, which in this case is 0.0. Examples above, we created new variables in order to perform type conversions. Okay. And variables are the actual numbers for whatever it is. If it's English natives, then you put, lock in that variable in whatever number it is. If there's 153 million, there's your variable. And then type is what conversion you're turning it into. So integral and float methods can be used in the same lines with other operations. For example, directly with the print function. And print is anything that's like you're entering it in, you're recording it, it's going through. Okay, so English natives 3,782 million. I know that's a new way for me to think about it. 3,782 million. I'm not used to that, but you're learning a different way of thinking, I think. So you'd say English natives, you'd say print, float, and English native. Okay. So float goes before it, and then you'd say print type float. Huh. Okay. Let's see. So let's keep going. Or together with multiplication. So Russian web share is 0.061. Total web is 1 million. Russian website integral equals integral Russian web share times total web. Okay. So you're starting that integral equals integral Russian web share times total. So then you can say print Russian website integral print type. So when you say type, it's going to tell you what type, which is class integral. And what it did is it's just multiplying this float by the integer, and it's going to equal a full integer. Okay? I know it sounds a little confusing right now. I imagine it, especially if you're not looking at the screen right now, which will be edited in. So, but for you watching on the screen, you're just seeing me talk about a bunch of crazy numbers and words. Okay, we have written a code that converts the number of native Russian speakers given in the millions, the Russian native millions variable, to Okay, so that's the variable right there. Russian native millions, that's up there, okay? It's 153.9. To the total number of native Russian speakers, so that would be the Russian native variable. So total of Russian speakers to Russian speakers in the millions. Okay. So then the variable Russian native, as explained above, now contains a floating point. However, since it represents a number of people, it's better to have integer. So let's convert its type to integer. So use the variable Russian natives integer, okay? See the precode to perform the type of conversion and print its variable and its type. Okay, we can do this, y'all. See, I mean, if you read all this out, it does make sense. It starts to kind of fit together like tying a shoe. Okay, but let's see if I can get it now. This is like questionable. Okay, so if I go to Russian native, well, no, actually, we're gonna go. To taking, okay, like Russian web share. Okay, so what we need to do is we're gonna say, oh my god, it's just so oh man, I want to say Russian. Okay, with multiplication, yeah. So we want to say the natives. Yes, that's right. Russian native in the millions. So we want to take Russian natives integral, and then we want to say int integral parenthesis. Let me see. The Russian native millions. Okay, and you gotta make sure everything is exactly spelled correct. Okay, then you always want to do space and then multiply by I think we want to say 1 million, right? Let me think. I think so. 1 million. Okay, let's just try this. I could be wrong, so may have to try a couple times. Okay, the part that is wrong is line 3. Syntax error. Okay. Yeah, and I think I know why. I'm not supposed to put the integer there. Okay, so we need to put Russian native millions times, I want to say Russian natives. Let's try that. Yeah. Wait a second. Is that right? Russian natives. Let's try it. And give it a shot. No. Let me try it again. Okay. I know I'm getting close. Alright. So let me look at the question again. See, it's going to take a little while. Use the example in the theory selecting the template. This snippet code is very useful. So Russian websites equals Russian web share times the total web. Okay. Russian websites. Okay. Wait. Incorrect argument when calling. What the heck was that? Line 3, incorrect argument. 1, calling enter. Okay. So I shouldn't even. Okay. Let's take that out because I already had that. Mm. Okay, let's just read it again. We have code that converts the number of native Russian speakers given in the millions, this Russian native millions variable, to the total number of native Russian speakers, that's the Russian native variable. The variable Russian native, as explained above, now contains a floating point value. Okay. However, since it represents a number of people, it's better to have an integer. So let's convert its type to integral. Use the new variable, okay, and then see the precode to perform the type of conversion. So we want to take Russian native. I think I figured it out, y'all. Okay, I think we want to go int Russian native times Russian native times Russian native millions, I think. Let's just try it. See if I'm at all close. Come on, baby. Okay, let's try this again. Maybe we gotta take integral out because it. Okay, yeah, it's telling me let's take integral out. So we'll say equals. Maybe we should say print. Oh, shit. Try this again. Use call function method int with appropriate argument not found. Use. Well, now it's telling me to use int. Okay. Oh, I had to put a space. See, it's little tiny things like that that will screw you up. Try it again. Native million. I don't see where I'm wrong. Let me say print. Let's see. So close, y'all. Yeah, maybe I do have to say print. So we gotta say print that Russian native, and then print. I probably should start typing it. Print type, and then you want to put another, and you would say the same thing. Russian native integer. Okay. Now let's try it. Hope for the best. I know I got part of it right here. Argument 1, we're calling it integer function. Line 3. Yeah. And maybe I need to take integer out. Okay, we got so close. Okay, that's the result, which just seems like way too big of a number, but it has to be correct. Call the function method, appropriate arguments not found. Use integer method to convert the type. Okay, but every time I do that, it says not to put the integer. Let's see this again. Okay. English native float. Float equals English native. Okay. I think I see it. Let me see. Russian. This one is a challenging one. Okay. Russian websites equals Russian web fair share total. Okay. Same thing. INT. Okay. Russian websites. Maybe if I just put that Russian native. Let's try this, y'all. I think I may have gotten it. Let's Let's try this again. Integrity. I'm so close. Yeah, I did it! Oh my god! Oh, see that? Great, we did it. We now have a whole number with no commas, zeros inside. Oh my god. Booyah! See, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. This is so rewarding. So this is sort of like the other screen. Like, I know it's on the other screen too. So basically what we did is kind of the same thing as the code over there. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Russian native millions is 153.9. So what we did is took the Russian native equals Russian native by the millions times 1 million. And then the Russian native integer equals integer Russian native. Okay, so we're taking that. And then these two, it automatically calculates it. But it calculates it as an integral. So then you say print Russian native integral. So now it's printing that out. And then you'd say type. So it's letting you know what type it is, which is an integral. When you say print and then type and then your, what do they call a variable, Russian native integer. How do you say that? Integer. And then it's like print, it's like clicking the next button. It's like clicking send, you know, on a message or some crap. So let's hit next. Oh my god, it feels so good. That deserves a drink here. Nothing but good old spring water, baby. Okay. Let's see here. I know. What are you doing on a Wednesday? A Wednesday morning like this? Okay. Let's see. 13 errors. Okay, so this one looks a little long. See, that was just so freaking rewarding feeling. I'll just tell you the task right here. So it's like, we're getting two different, like I said, you're getting me here, and then you're getting them there. So, I don't know. I'm confused. I know I'm confusing people. Okay. Theory. Oh man, I've got like, I think 7 more to go. No. 8. No. 6. I think I have 6. Yeah. I have 6 more till I complete this course. Pretty cool. I'm moving along. But you get the idea that how long that took. This is like your learning process. This is literally what you're seeing me go through. This is your learning process. So by doing that, you are going to learn more, like in your own pace. And it's so rewarding. You saw me, I was excited. It feels so good to complete that theory problem, or solve this and become the solution. So let's look at this task. This is a task. In this assignment, you can play with various errors in order to examine the corresponding error messages. Conceal the lines containing the incorrect code one by one with the hash sign. Do you remember what commenting out means? Error messages are returned by Python and not by our integrated platform. Once you've had enough fun playing with errors, remove the entire code. The interactive platform does not permit a code with errors. And then click check button in order to proceed to the next lesson. Be sure to check out the hint. It has some good, useful additional information about errors in Python. Okay, if your code has multiple lines, the error with the enclosed parentheses isn't showing the line where you forgot to put it, but the following line instead. See for yourself. That's because Python allows you to place opening and closing parentheses on separate lines. So it patiently waits until the code becomes completely meaningless before returning an error. Wow. Okay. So the EOL error message while scanning string literal stands out at the end of the line. Python is detected at opening quotation mark without a closing one. I see, yeah, right there. So let's see if I hit check, what happens. I think that's what they're wanting me to do anyway. Okay. Line 4, print plus da-da-da. So what you want to do is we want to fix it by putting a 5, and let's delete that and say print hello. So it should be 8 hello, right? Damn, I'm getting good at this. Let's see if, hold on. I mean, I'm not done, but it just feels good to know what the hell I'm doing. Like, it is rewarding. I could see this being a very rewarding career. I mean, just to answer this damn, to get it where it actually goes through. See, because now it's saying syntax error. There we go. That's what they wanted me to say. EOL while scanning string literal. Okay. Oh, that's because there's a punctuation missing, I think. What the heck happened? I think that's it. Hello. Yeah, I didn't even see that it was missing a punctuation mark. Everything's going to be perfect. You got to make sure there's punctuations are correct. They got to have 2 values on both variables. And everything has to be spelled absolutely correct. And I see right there, speakers is misspelled. As soon as I was saying that, it's crazy. It's like it read my mind, or I read its mind. I mean, you gotta see. Now I see that. Oh man, I got it again. That's so damn good, y'all. Bam, booyah! That was my coding there. So this is a result 264.3. And if I wanted to change that to integral, I could. Hello. So I said, hello world. The only way to live life without errors is to live a life without coding. Damn, look at that shit. That should be the name of this segment. The only way to live life without errors is to live a life without coding. That's it. And that, okay, I'm actually going to type that because that's going to be the name of this segment. So I can't copy it. The only way to live life without errors is to live a life. I think I'm liking this without coding. That is so true. The only way to live life without errors is to live a life without coding. Because you cannot make, that's what we're seeing here. You cannot make any errors. You have to literally, you know I'm a Virgo, which they say, oh shoot. A Virgo is perfectionist or whatever. And it's true, like with things like this especially, like I can catch all the little things. And sometimes, like even with my own web designs and development, I knew, like with my blogs or my videos, it's just the weird thing about me, as the artistic side of me comes out, is it's like what I call a beautiful mess, and that everything that's perfect is actually the product of imperfection. So what I mean by that is, like in nature, everything is chaotic and she is beautiful. Gaia, the creator, maker, the black sun, is the essence of the spiral, 369, all life. So I like to implement that in bring that nature into something that's supposed to be perfectly organized and squared. I don't know what it is about me. My whole life, I've been more, I like to take the mud and I like to mold it and I like to feel it and grasp it with my own natural way. Almost like something would be too perfect, and I had like OCD the opposite direction, where I wanted to make it imperfect or messy or dirty, and people would say, well, that's just being a caveman or crazy. But like, I mean, even on videos, I would have everything so perfect, or I'd say, oh, that needs to be fixed. Like, OCD part of me would say, you need to correct that, Eric. Like, people are going to say something, or it's bothering me in my own brain, right? And that's actually the left side portion of your brain of our reality. And like I said, for me, I think it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing. If you are OCD as it is, then you're going to notice and pick up on these type of things. Like I said, the only way to live life without errors is without coding. You have to be a perfectionist to a certain degree, but that's where I think right here, this is where people will fail in this. If you do not have creativity to balance you out in data science, you're going to have a very difficult struggle, a hard time dealing with this type of work, because you're going to have to get up in front of people like I am right now with you and be creative, but at the same time be integral part of the change, whatever that is. A company may pay for you to figure out how many Russian speakers there are, like that's what this was about, right? Sticking with that. And you have to be succinct in the detail, so you have to be correct about the answer. But then again, you have to be creative on where you want to take that. What do you want the soup to taste like? And know its meaning. You're building a building structure for palm trees or a garden. All right? I don't know if any of this makes sense, but I know I'm making sense to myself, and this has actually helped me more than it may have helped you. But if you are considering going into data science or web developing, I hope this has helped you to a certain degree, some level, and that's cool. I look totally space-like now. So yeah, I'm just leaving you with my best advice. Anybody out there, I may put this out on YouTube, I don't know, because I don't see a lot of people suggesting really good boot camps, but I will tell you, like, I'm really good. I'm very lucky individual. I usually magnetize to the good product. I like the best quality. If I'm going to spend more money, then I'm going to get the best. If I'm, quality is usually going to cost you more. And so a lot of these schools, but there are many schools that will overcharge because, they want to make money. And basically with data science, data analytics, and web developing, full stack, whatever, it's like these boot camps have become like the guys selling shovels next to a gold mine. You see what I'm saying? There's a gold mine in web development and data science. They are selling you a tool that you can use. Jesus. They are selling you a tool that you can use. Jesus.